The Big Al Podcast with your host, Al Bishop, unfiltered and uncut.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. We got Mr. Ellenor joining us from the UK via the magic of Skype or something like it. Cal, hello, welcome. Thanks for giving up some time, man, and welcome to the show.
No worries, mate. Nice to be on. Nice to be speaking to you. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Cal, what I want to do is maybe let's start with a little bit about yourself, just so people can learn a little bit more about who you are and where you're from. So we know you're from the UK. I believe you out of the same camp as Tony Mustard, as we'll know as the heavyweight here in South Africa in the EFC. So where are you from originally, and where is it that you're training out of?
I'm from Sunderland. I've lived here my whole life. Basically, I'm training from TFT in Seaham. But our gym's been a few different places, and it's finally settled that where it's at now. Because originally it started off in Sunderland, but then it's moved just up the coast a little bit to Seaham, and that's where we all train. We've got a bigger gym now, where a lot of pros from around the northeast have kind of made their home as well, and it's a really good camp. We've got some great results coming out of there now, you know.
Okay. And the TFT, that's the fish tank, is that correct?
Yeah, Team Fish Tank, yeah. That's because the name comes from basically Andrew Fisher, the coach, our coach.
Okay. And how did you get into MMA? Where did it all start for you, Cal?
Basically, it started off when I was about, I'd say I was 11, 12-year-old. I started boxing. I started boxing at Sunderland ABC, a local boxing club where I'm from. And I started fighting in that for a while. Had some fights. And then basically, I'd always watched MMA with my dad in the house, like old UFCs and things like that, you know. And then I just didn't know anywhere where to actually train MMA, because back then it was quite unheard of around where we live, you know. There was no one really knew of it, and so it wasn't until I was like later in my teens that I actually one of my friends started training with Andrew Fisher, started grappling with him, and invited us to go and have a look. Basically at the time, in the gym where I was just trying to keep fit, just training myself basically, and boxing and just keeping general fitness. That's where they used to come in and train sometimes after the like boxing lessons had finished. So I ended up just staying back one time and just joined in with their session, you know. And then from that was it. I just completely put everything into it and started training MMA full time.
Okay. And you've notched up quite a nice record there in the UK, and then we will be seeing you here at EFC. So how did that whole deal with the EFC come about? Was it something that was ongoing for a while, or was it something a little bit more unexpected?
I don't know. It's strange, really, because in March I fought on ACB, and that was at it was at a catch weight. It was like 63 kilos, and at the time, my coach was saying that there was talks that maybe AFC would want to sign us at bantamweight, so we're kind of like toying with the idea and see what happened. And then basically I said I would do it, and then it never ended up coming around anyway. So I ended up fighting on another show locally up here. And then I was actually a couple of weeks back, I got a message about this fight saying, "Oh, would you want to take this fight?" So I was obviously the opportunity is massive. I couldn't turn it down, you know. So sure. When I said that I would accept the fight, basically Gareth said, "Oh, rather than having it at 63 because you've took it on short notice, you can have it at 65 kilos." So it's at a catch weight at 65 kilos, and basically once I accepted, AFC then offered us a multi-fight deal with them to sign with them. So it was a win-win, really.
Okay. And how much did you know about the EFC before then?
Quite a bit, actually. I've seen, obviously, Tony from our campus flew over and had a couple of fights out there.
Sure.
And basically, I've seen that Ozzy Thomas has fought out there before. I've seen Danny Henry's fought out there. So I knew it was a good platform, you know. I knew it was a good, really big organisation and stuff. And it looks amazing. I can't wait to get out there and experience it for myself.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We can't wait to get you guys here. There's obviously quite a few guys that are coming through from the UK to the EFC. None bigger than the one that will be fighting on the main fight come the EFC 62, and that's Yannick Bahati. Do you know him at all?
I don't know him, actually. I actually don't know him, no, sorry.
Okay, no, then you've already won some fans, because he's not exactly the fan favorite in South Africa.
It's not?
Yeah.
Nice.
And just looking at the EFC, obviously the EFC now released stats recently. I don't know if you're aware of that. They've got a new broadcasting deal with a local broadcasting company called SABC. And since that deal started, they've reached numbers of 15.7 million viewers. So
wow.
Averaging on about 1.5 to 2 million per main card. Is that something you've given much thought to?
I didn't know then that's actually, but I just knew that it was big, you know. So that's the bigger it is, the better for me in my eyes. It's a bigger opportunity. You know what I mean? Like with that many people watching, it's a win-win regardless. If I just go out there and even just have a great fight, it's gonna do loads for everyone. You know what I mean? With career and everything. So I just can't wait. You know, just to experience that.
Cool.
Amazing.
Let's just look at yourself and your career a bit. You've got a 5-0 record. You've got 100% finish rate. Is that your style? Do you guys looking to finish every fight?
Yeah, that's something I do. Yeah, definitely. I think I've kind of like got my own little style going on. I think that's kind of like I push a good pace, and don't get us wrong. I enjoy being in the fight, but if I see the opportunity to get the finish, I'll definitely be trying to take it. So whether it comes in striking where I feel really confident, or if it does go to the floor, I feel like I've got a lot of different submissions from loads of positions, you know. So
sure.
I think that's something I'll be looking to do again. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I read somewhere that there was a UK pundit that said there was something quite Conor McGregor about your style and your charisma. What do you attribute that to?
I don't know. Maybe movement. I don't know. Just I like to keep it long and strike, but all of me finishes pretty much, even as amateur, semi-pro, come from submissions. Like I think it's a lot of my fights would have been finished more with strikes. It's just when I've actually caught people, I've ended up in grappling exchanges. So maybe that's where they've got it from. I don't know. Maybe they thought my striking style was maybe something like his, or maybe personality or something, you know.
Yeah, maybe there's a personality you're not letting on for us just yet there.
Yeah.
And how much do you know about Gareth Bursky, your opponent? Have you seen some video on him, or you kind of just winging it, trusting what your own process?
Basically, sometimes I do like to watch my opponent, sometimes I don't. It just depends how I'm feeling at the time. I got basically all of his fight footage, and I didn't watch it. I just thought, oh well, basically I'll leave it in the hands of my coaches. You know, I trust Andrew Fisher and Dale Atkinson's judgment. Dale Atkinson's my boxing coach. Andrew Fisher is my all MMA coach. Everything, you know, and they always seem to put together, like, devise a really good plan for us. So I just thought that, you know, I'm just going to go out there and enjoy it and adapt when I'm in there. So basically they gave me a plan, and that's what we're working with. I've seen that he can wrestle, you know, so he looks strong. He looks like he can wrestle. He's shorter than me, so I think it's gonna be a great fight, you know. I think it's a great matchup for both of us. Realistically, I think we can go out there and really put on a show for the fans, you know. So can't wait.
Yeah, 100%. And have you traveled before in your fighting career, or will this be your first time?
I have. When I was younger, I've travelled and boxed, but in MMA, I haven't had the opportunity yet. No, nothing's came about. So this is me. This is a dream of mine, actually, to travel and fight. I just want to travel wherever and just fight whoever and just do it. You know what I mean? That's what, to me, that's living. I just want to get out of these places, different places, and just fight. So getting the opportunity to go to Johannesburg, somewhere that I'd love to travel to, you know, and fight there. It's pretty much everything for me, you know. So
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to it.
awesome, man. That's fantastic. And I'm sure you've got a few words of advice from Tony Mustard about traveling here.
No, I haven't really, to be honest.
He hasn't mentioned things like
No,
altitude to you.
No, I've heard about it. I've heard about that. I've heard about the humidity. I've heard the altitude's high, so I'm just gonna. Obviously, that's good that we're getting out there early, so we can just knuckle down and get straight into it, you know, and try and adapt as much as possible to that.
Sure.
But as far as everything else has gone, he hasn't said much, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah, well, the altitude has caught a few victims before, but you guys will be here nice and early, so I'm sure you'll be adapted and ready to that.
Yeah.
Kel, just want to ask a question. Obviously, you're coming here as an unknown for both your opponent and for South African fans. What would you say is your best attributes as a fighter, and what can the fans expect from you come fight night?
My best attributes as a fighter, I would have to say, is probably maybe I'm fast. I know I'm fast. I know I've got fast shots. I'm explosive. Maybe I could say my explosiveness. I just see my overall ability to adapt. I would say that's my main attribute. I feel like I can go in and dictate a fight where the fight's going to be, you know, and I think I push a pace that is hard to match. Maybe the altitude might play a little factor, but I can't see it. I'm super fit. I've trained really hard. And I'm going to knuckle down as soon as I get out there. And in the altitude, I don't know. I'd say maybe me work rate. Me work rate probably me an attribute.
Okay, so you like to put on the pressure and keep a pace going and see what happens from there, really.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
fantastic.
Definitely, 1,000,000%.
So back here in South Africa, this card that you're going to be featuring on is being billed as possibly the biggest card in EFC history. Are you aware of that?
Yeah, I've seen that on Twitter, actually. I think it's basically all coming together perfectly, really, isn't it? I can't wait. So I think there couldn't have been a better card to get on for my first one, really.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think it's a massive card for everybody on it, especially someone like you who will be seeing for the first time. It's going to be huge. It's going to be massively broadcast. It's going to be a packed house. It's going to be all sorts of stuff going on the night, man. And it's going to be a hell of an interesting card. Also, there's another theme on the card that involves you. I'm not too sure if you know Gareth Bursky is from Team CIT, who is teammates with Dricus du Plessis, who will be the main card fighting Yannick Bahati. So it's almost like a
nice.
CIT versus UK on the night. So I'm sure Mr. Bursky will be looking to get his team the forward foot moving. So there's another thing for you to deal with. The biggest card in EFC history, as well as a little grudge match from SA Team CIT versus the UK there, man.
Yeah, definitely, mate. That's just more fuel for the fire, basically, isn't it? That's I didn't even know that. That's awesome. So it's just more motivation to go in there and just show South Africa what I'm about. I keep saying it, but that's it. Literally, I just can't wait to get in there and just to show them the style and the type of fighter that I am, because I think that out there with that platform, that's a place that I can just be skyrocketed instantly, you know what I mean? So
100%.
it's just there. I can't wait.
Yeah, man, we can't wait to have you. And just playing a little hypothetical game, looking forward. Do you know much about the bantamweight roster? Is there some guys that you've had a look at, or what would be next in your mind if you had to notch up a win here?
No, I haven't. I basically take it one fight at a time. I'll see what happens in this fight. See how it plans out. See what happens. Maybe go to bantam and fight in that division, or maybe fight in featherweight. Who knows? I'll see what it's like in the altitude with the humidity, and then obviously fighting at bantamweight might not be the greatest thing to do with obviously the added extra cut of that weight, or maybe if I feel fine, maybe bantamweight's the way to go. I don't know. I'm gonna take this fight and then see what moves to make from that.
Okay, and this will obviously be your first time managing a weight cut with the travel and so on. So you've got to play out a couple of those things and see how it all works out for you.
Definitely, 1,000,000%, yeah.
And what would be your preferred weight at home, let's say?
At home, maybe. Well, I've had my fights at featherweight, and I feel strong. I feel like I can compete against anyone at that weight. But I know if the opportunity arises, I know I can make bantamweight as well. I fought Declan Williams on ACB, and I just dieted for that fight. I didn't even cut weight, and I fought him at 63, so I could have easily hit the 61 limit if I needed to. So.
Okay.
I'll do this one at 65 and see what it's like, and then make my choices from there.
Fantastic, man. Well, Carl, it's exciting stuff. We always love to see new blood in the organization. The organization is very active these days in bringing talents like yourself in with obviously a great unblemished record, and we wish you all the best, safe travels, and thanks very much for your time, and we'll see you when you get here, man.
Oh, Thank you, Al. I can't wait, mate. Thanks for your time, mate. I'll see you there. See you when I get out there.
100%. And travel safe. We'll see you when you're here, man. All the best.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Cheers,
man.
brother. Thank
Ciao,
you. I'll
man.
see you
Ciao.
soon, man. Bye, man.
Ciao.
Bye. Bye.